call the order. Supervisors, please arise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for you.
The Township Board of Supervisors allocates up to 3 minutes during this item for those individuals who would like the opportunity to address the Board of Supervisors on agenda items only. Is there anybody?
Might have a list. Where's the list at? Where's Pete at? All right, just for the record, there'll be no action taken on by the board concerning item number A regarding the budget. The township did not submit or did not provide the budget available to all the people as required by law. It was not, the whole budget was not available either online or here at the office. And based upon the second-class township code, I believe it's section 3202, I believe subparagraph C, it's my position that the whole budget had to be available for review. It wasn't. So there'll be no, I recommend no action be taken on that today, and that be, that just, it'll be done for the night. If you have any comments about the budget, it's no longer be talked about tonight. So we welcome your comments and participation based upon the fact of what's remaining on the budget, on the agenda. All right. Anyone have any questions or concerns? Who's on the list?
Linda Rumbaugh.
Hi, Linda Rumbaugh, Burrell Drive. I hope everybody has a happy Valentine's Day coming up. And I think I might be able to make everybody happy. I have a suggestion. This is only a suggestion because I know this is a hot topic. As far as the library goes, there's $9,700 given to them. Could we possibly, and I know everybody's going to get a little bit of something, give $4,000 to the library, give $4,000 to Parks and Rec, take the $1,700 and pocket it for yourself. Everybody's a little bit of a winner. Everybody has a little bit of money. That might be something you might want to do. I know $4,000 is probably not a whole lot of money, but it's better than getting rid of the Parks and Rec altogether. And the library is going to get $4,000. That's just how it goes. They're not going to get as much money this year. That's my suggestion. That was all I had to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Craig Rumbaugh.
Craig Rumbaugh, Burrell Drive. I had several things pertaining to the budget. The first was from line items 471 and 472. Wanted to ask the board if it was worth investigating restructuring the debt. This was specific to the police building and the bonds and respective interest payments that we're making. It represents 2.9% of the total budget, and it may be worth investigating restructuring that debt to save some money in interest, future interest. The second one was workman's comp insurance. Workman's comp insurance on the budget shows annually $310,000 or 3.6% of the total budget. I looked at, that seemed like a high numbers. I looked at the Pennsylvania state average, and the average across the state is $1.35 for every $100 in wages. The payroll, the hourly payroll is just north of $3 million. And if you take the state average number and plug it in, it seems like workman's comp insurance should be more in the neighborhood of 40 to 50,000. Granted, the people that are being covered are a more dangerous line of work, so there may be a premium, but I looked at that too. And even with that consideration, it still seems high, that number. The third one was a question, line item 413.12 on the budget. Who is the community developer? They have a salary listed. I'm not sure who that person is. I'm unaware that there is such a position, but it's listed nonetheless on the budget. So I'd like to know who that is. The fourth one was fleet vehicle maintenance. The annual cost is $127,000. That's allocated across 5 different departments. The biggest one being public works, of course, then police and fire, but all totaled, it adds up to 127,000. And I wanted to ask the board for consideration if that could be managed more effectively. I don't know if we own or lease our vehicles, but own,
Both.
oh, both combination. But that was a big number and I thought it would be worth pursuing. The last one was about line item 362.15, which is on the revenue side of the budget. It lists police contracted services with Walmart and Tanger outlets, and it's for $25,000. And I don't know why that is, that there's a special contract with those two entities. But I looked at the annual cost of the police budget divided by the number of hours there are in a year. There's 8,760 hours in a year. And if you divide that into the budget, it's $407 an hour. And if the police force is spending an exorbitant amount of time at these entities, then we're over allocating resources to those two. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you,
Okay.
Mr. Rumbaugh.
John Flower.
First, I'd like to give my thanks to each of you for the time that you spend during the month on all of your duties and getting ready for meetings like tonight. So thank you for that. I was here a month ago when the budget was reopened, and I stood and spoke on behalf of the programming for Parks and Recreation. I pointed out at that time that the $10,000 reflects a dollar spent for every resident of South Strabane for the entire year. So I didn't really feel that that was a consequential program, and was surprised that it was being stripped totally, which is rather dire. So I asked if there wouldn't be the opportunity to reinstate that $10,000. That evening, there was another speaker that spoke vehemently and passionately against the Parks and Recreation Programming Committee, suggesting that there was abusive and irresponsible spending, and cited a couple examples. So after that meeting, I contacted a member of Parks and Recreation, not the chairperson, but a member, and I asked about those couple examples, and was told that was false information that was given to our supervisors, that there was no dollars spent out of the budget for either of those activities. The one was being the Kennywood tickets, because that was a purchase, and in and out, did not affect the $10,000 whatsoever. The other one, I think, was dealing with another out of the township activity, which was it's a Trax farm, one of the farm events. But that also was a paid event, and in and out did not affect the $10,000. I've not had the opportunity to have a copy of the Parks and Recreation Programming budget expenditures to check it in total, but I think it's probably much more in line than what was suggested. And if the supervisors in good conscience removed that programming due to that passionate speech, I think you were ill-advised. So as a new resident of 2 years, it's my only awareness of township programming for the residents of the township, other than safety and protection, such as fire and police. And I think it's a good opportunity for the South Strabane Township to raise its public visibility, its goodwill towards the citizens. It's almost no cost to you. So I stand here again to suggest that unless there are extreme circumstances that suggest otherwise, that it be reinstated. And that way the library wouldn't have to lose its money either. And if you would rather, take the $1,700 off it for whatever coffer that would go to. But perhaps there's a supervisor here this evening that would make that motion. I make the motion if it's in line.
No, it's not in line.
It's not
Your
in
time's
line. Not in
almost
line.
up, Mr. Bowles.
Okay.
Thank you. There's anybody online, Kristen, that wants to? No? Under unfinished business, there is none. Under new business, um, letter number A is going to be bypassed. Letter B, motion to authorize. Mr. Chairman.
I defer to Mr. Makel. Mr. Makel, I know you gave an explanation at the beginning about why this particular item can't move forward.
Because it's, if,
I understand. What I need to hear from you, the folks need to hear, we need to hear too, does that mean the previous budget that was approved in December takes effect?
that would mean that the proposed budget, it can no longer, is void ab initio. So that means we're back to December. So basically, the budget as it is from December, whenever it was approved, is now the budget that
In place.
in place. Now, keep in mind, according to law, the budget is a guide. It basically is a guide to expenditures and a guide to revenue. And as I said before, when you have the ability to transfer funds after March 31st from different accounts based upon different circumstances. But it's just a guide. So we're back to the budget that occurred. That was approved, I believe, sometime in December, Mr. Wood.
Thank you, Mr. Makel.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you, Mr. Chairman.
Letter B, motion to authorize Laura Kiesling to collect the fourth quarter mercantile tax and delinquent mercantile tax and to be paid accordingly to the previous 2025 agreement of 1.4% of the mercantile tax collected and 3% of the delinquent mercantile. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second,
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried 5-0. Letter C, motion to approve site access agreement with Thompson Electric for temporary use of the township property at 253 Zediker Station. Mr. Safinsky, could you give a little brief what's going
Yep,
on there?
we were approached, or Kevin, the Department of Public Works Director, was approached by them to ask if they could stage for upcoming projects that they have with West Penn Power. And in the past, we have done deals with these agreements, and Russ, you can probably speak onto this, where we have, basically, they've rented the space out to them monthly or a set contract. Now, they are going to be there for at least 2 months, and they have other bids that are ongoing that they may need to extend month to month. In the past, we have gotten around $800 a month. Is that correct, Russ?
Yeah, we offered 800 a couple of years ago. I would like to make a suggestion that we up this to $1,000 a month. It's a big lot. It's gated. They have to have proof of insurance, and we take that $2,000 and we keep the Parks and Rec going as long as we can. It's my suggestion. But I don't see why we shouldn't up that to $1,000 a month. That's pretty cheap. I mean, it's a big lot and it's gated and there's cameras down there.
Well, so the proposal that we have right now is from them is 850,
It's 800.
800?
And we should up it to 1,000. Since then, we've installed cameras at the gate. And cameras go directly to Drew's computer at the gate. Or are those cameras, are they gone?
Still have cameras.
Okay, still have cameras. So there's been improvements down there. And it's a big lot.
Duly noted. Thank you.
Pete, is there a reason we can't do that?
Do what?
I'm asking Pete.
I'm not aware of it. Yeah, we can check in. Is there anything for that, Dennis? I'll defer to that. We can change it to $1,000 or.
Until the board takes action, we have to take action to make it enforceable. So tell them basically that you took the proposal back to the township, that the township's position is that it should be 1,000 based upon the amenities.
Do they still want?
And it basically, if the board, just say, when do they want to do, when do they want to start using this?
They want to start on Monday.
All right, so here's your, if I can help you with your motion.
Yeah.
So a motion to authorize a site access agreement with, who's it called? I don't have it in my.
Thompson
Thompson
Electric
Electric.
Inc.
With Thompson Electric, with a sum of $1,000 per month, subject to them providing the appropriate certificates of insurance, naming the township as an additional insured. That should be your motion.
Do I hear a motion?
So moved, but actually, we're using the same agreement that we used. in the past.
I drafted that agreement for, I think it was at Lane Construction or something.
Yes, that's right.
So that's what Pete did. I give him credit because it's already formatted. So he took the agreement and just modified to $1,000 a month. But we need, before they start, they have to provide us a certificate of insurance, naming the township as additional insured, because I don't want something going wrong and then we have issues.
We had them do that with more than the township, the employees.
Everything.
And the
He-
Yeah, it's in the agreement, Dennis.
Yeah, but I just want to make sure that before they use it, we have to have 2,000 in hand, and we have to have certificates of insurance in hand. I don't want to be chasing after somebody.
This is the old Public Works garage area, just for those who don't know.
Yeah, the staging area where we kept the salt, the stone and everything.
Okay,
It's a
just
big
enlighten me,
flat
where's
lot.
the old garage?
It's gone.
Okay.
That was turned into the recyclable center.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor.
I'll second.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried 5-0. Public comment. The Township Board of Supervisors allocates 3 minutes during this item for those individuals who would like the opportunity to address the Board of Supervisors on any matter. And I don't think anybody was signed up.
I would ask them right now, just in case.
Anybody?
I just have a question. If you're going back to the original budget,
Just for the record, Richard Lukatich.
153.
All right, okay, all right.
If you're going back to the original budget, does that mean Parks and Rec are back in place and they have their money?
No,
No.
It's in the budget.
Yeah, it's in the
doesn't make,
budget.
doesn't make any difference. Doesn't make any difference.
No, it was in the budget and it's a
Right.
five-man board.
We'll go, I'll comment on that. So
It's
I'll
not a
answer that.
two-man board. It's a five-man board. It's
Yeah.
in the budget.
Yes, correct. It is. I'll answer in a moment.
Okay, another thing. From the time that budget was voted on up to this time right now, how much money was spent by the township with all the rigmarole you guys did and you couldn't approve this budget? How much money did you waste?
Well, I don't, that would have to look at. I don't know. There was money
I'll
spent,
just ask you a
money.
question. Maybe you could tell us at the next meeting how much money was spent.
Well, we had 2 workshops.
Well, you don't have to answer today.
Mm.
Tell us next meeting. How much money you spent?
Reed, you can put that
Attorney's
together, right?
fees, everything.
You can put that together, right?
I could, if I have.
If
all
the bills.
budget, because Mr. Maker hasn't sent us the bill since December, so I need November.
Well, we've had staff change, so we'll get you the bill probably the next day or two. Okay, and then we'll figure out what the cost is, okay?
Anybody else? Anybody online, Kristen? Okay. Supervisors comment time. Township supervisors can address any item. Anybody have anything to say?
Yeah, you're the gentleman from Bradford Run, right? No. Okay, all right, I thought you were. Well, we had a meeting today on Bradford Run, and even though we have between $149,000, $179,000, because nobody had been watching the shop on that since it's been done. Looks like the storm drains aren't right. Nothing was done. Nothing was followed up on by the previous township people. And that could end up costing the taxpayers in excess of $250,000. if this goes south on us. It's in the DEP's hands for other issues, from things that just weren't done. You know, everybody here believes in transparency, right? Well, if you believe in transparency, then those who did things should be held accountable for what they did under their watch. Under their watch.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
Let's blame it on the other guy.
No,
You're in there now, not me.
and I'm
You're
fixing
there.
it. Thank you. And I'm fixing it.
We'll get your pick and shovel and go down and fix it.
Well, don't take more to pick and shovel. And the other thing I'm going to say is, this happened because a staff member didn't advertise the budget correctly, didn't post it correctly, did the last budget correctly, might have done the year.
Did what they were told.
Don't blame it on the other guy all the time. You're the
chairman.
supervisor. Look at the
Township
last
chairman.
township closed. You're responsible for everything.
Okay,
You're the chairman. Should've been done.
well,
Anybody
Jeff?
else got anything?
Jeff, I have the gentleman's name and number written down at home. I'll text it to you from Bradford Run, the homeowners association.
I have it. I
Yeah.
have it. He's been in my office a couple times as
Yeah.
requested. There are major problems with that development.
I brought it to the past engineers' attention when they didn't use silt sock. It's a T at the top of the hill, and the catch basin was full of mud. Kevin was with me, and I told them before we take that over, all those pipes have to be cambered and it has to be turned in, and they have to be cleaned, because all that silt went right down that silt line.
But there's
So
also,
they weren't aware of that, and they don't like answering the phone.
who's that, KLH?
no. For us, that's the least of our problems.
Yeah,
But
but there's a lot of stuff wrong up there.
well, the problem is that basically that no one I mean, there's sidewalks that aren't completed the right way. The roads aren't completed the right way, the drainage. And that's the reason why, if you notice what we do nowadays, like with Burkett Manor, we now have these inspections going on.
Yeah.
And that way we don't have these problems like we did in the past. So hopefully with our
No,
new,
we're getting it right. Rich, we're getting it right, just so you know.
Anybody else?
If the taxpayers of this township knew,
I'm very
the
happy. with
millions of
engineering
dollars.
firm that's doing it, and they are doing inspections when they're asked to do it.
and that's what
The
we
other
do.
ones did not.
And I'll tell you what, Russ, I've used that same firm elsewhere, and that's how we do it elsewhere.
Well, that's the way we were supposed to do it before when it was brought to their attention, but seemed like put on the back shelf an awful lot. I can only report it to the engineers.
And to answer the other gentleman's question about why we finance things, why we lease things, you know what happens when you don't have any money, but you need something? You find other ways to pay for it. And the township's going to pretty much doing that with everything. I think our lease payments right now are lease and bond payments are $452,000 a year. $452,000 a year are our lease payments for the equipment, the police cars, stuff for the road department, and the public works building and the police station. $452,000 a year. Huh? That's a lot of money. You know, that's a lot of money. And it's just like, there's not a month goes by, we don't have another surprise thrown at us. It's going to be an expensive surprise. So,
All right, to answer the budget, so once we reopened the budget, we sat down with the finance director, township manager, myself, we went through the revenue line by line. The revenue went from $8,776,600 to $8,501,155. If we would not have adjusted the expenditures, we would have a shortfall of $250,746. So we are reinstating the November budget. You can't pay for the 8.7 because we don't have 8.7 coming in. So if we spend 8.7, you're going to look at taking about a $1.3 million loan out to carry you through. That's where we stand. I didn't I don't make up the revenues. You gotta base your expenditures off of your revenue. And that's how we got to that point. So that's where we stand. That's the bottom line. I didn't write the November budget. I wasn't here. And with the proposed budget that we had going into today, that left us with $13,000 left over. So are you gonna have a Parks and Rec board? I want us to have everything. But at the end of the day, you can't go take out a $1.3 million loan.
Nothing getting cheaper in the world. Taxes.
We've raised them
raised
90%
them.
in the last 8 years.
That doesn't.
Well, there was a
So now we're gonna have to raise them again, right?
there was also a
Things
question,
aren't gonna get cheaper. It's only gonna get more expensive.
right? But the fire tax isn't even covering the wages of the fire department. It's actually a shortfall on that. The fire tax only brings in 930, well, it's terrible to say only, but $937,000. Just in wages, no pension, no taxes is 957. So it's already a short there. Because one of the questions we received is, are we going to eliminate the fire tax? Well, no, we're not.
Just going back to taxes. We have, self-contained, we're very fortunate that we do have the retail corridor that we have. There's a lot of businesses out here. Up the corporate tax.
We can't charge it, we can't
Can't.
charge it.
I think we're
Can't,
maxed on that right now.
What we're governed by is called the Local Tax Enabling Act. We can only charge taxes or assess taxes, what's set forth therein.
It's 1.5.
We have to live within our means and we can't feel entitled to, well, this is the way it's been and we're only going to increase. I would love to increase, but the numbers that were projected in November were not real numbers. That's why I got it reopened.
I would have to disagree with that.
I sat down with you. This was you and me, line item by line item. We came up, we're going to find out at the end of the year, 8.5. I have it all out. We have the budgets.
You will, I won't be here.
All right, but we'll find out. But that's what we came up with as revenue coming in. The Act 13 money that's been bailing us out is dwindling away. We don't know what that's going to be. In the November budget, it has it as the same exact number that we didn't even get last year in 25. We took money out of the fund to make that number work, and we were going to do it again this year. It's made up. It wasn't real. That's all. But I gotta go to work.
All profits pay the fire tax?
No, I don't think that they're, fire, nonprofits, I think they only pay assessments. Okay, like fire hydrant assessments and all that.
Another idea.
Sure.
You can tell me if you can actually do this. As far as fire tax goes, if my house catches on fire, it's gonna take a hell of a lot less water and resources to put the fire out of my house as compared to Walmart. Should they be paying a higher fire tax because they have such a large building?
It's based upon valuation.
So that's already.
But you gotta remember, it's got
That's-
sprinklers, it's
yeah.
got its own water supply. If there's a fire breaks out in there, it should put itself out.
If it works.
If it works. Exactly. Thank you. It goes back to that perfect world.
Test their systems
Yeah.
every month. They're inspected.
Jason,
Yeah, yearly they do fire inspection.
Anybody
I
else?
have a question.
Yep.
So the November budget would have had code enforcement in it, which we don't have anymore. So where are you figuring that salary?
That was already taken out in this new proposed budget. And it's still only left over 13.
That's if you recall what I said before, the code allows us to transfer money from accounts. If it's there and it's no longer a viable situation, then after March 31st, you can transfer money. What we have to start doing here is in the old days, when you transfer money from accounts, there would always be the secretary or finance director would provide a list to the board saying, we need to transfer money from account 101 to account 201. And that way people know what's going on in the township in terms of funds. So I'm saying is what we should start doing after March, when you transfer monies, there should be a list of being transfers going from this account to this account, because that's what you call good accounting. So we have to start doing that.
We have, I'm just saying.
Has the board approved those
Putting
transfers
enough
though?
Money into account that you're saving because we don't have a code enforcement officer, their salary, and their benefits.
Correct.
We had a code assist that we had to hire.
Right, but they're
So-
taking half of the building.
They take a
permits
great
and all
deal
that
more
We're
money.
gonna take more of the money.
But we still had a whole salary of a code
I think
enforcement
it's
officer and all the
60/40. I
benefits.
think we. talked
Yes,
about
and this
60/40.
budget reflected that on both ends, revenue and expenditure, and we still came up with 13,000.
Zach, you said you went line by line. Who's the
Yes.
community developer? Who are we paying for that?
I believe Kristen's under that.
She's the
It was
community
Scott, but we took his out. We adjusted everything, the taxes. All the
But
way
she's
down.
listed under her salary as admin.
I think some of the money for,
They're separate, they're pulled from multiple. funds.
I haven't been able to figure it out.
I'm not aware of that. You're the community development.
I think some of the money for another one of the township sins comes out of that too.
Please explain.
Hmm?
Please explain.
Well, we're paying off Strabane Manor for things that weren't done there. And I think is that in community development?
No, that's under risk management.
Okay, well, risk management.
But Ms. Roma, I do give you a lot of credit. You did do a good job looking at the budget. And I got to give you a lot of credit. You did, rather than just speak, but you were very intelligent. I have to give you credit. And when it comes to the bond issue, what normally happens is the person that did the previous bond will normally contact the township and say, we think it's time for you to consider redoing your, refinancing your bond.
Okay, as long as someone's.
So the bond, whoever did, the broker will normally call the municipality and say, we think you need to redo this, but it's all based upon the interest rates, okay? And so if the interest rates go so low, and basically they may say you need to redo your bond. So that's what happened.
Mr.
When that was
Rumbaugh,
done, we had bummed.
About several years ago, we refinanced.
Oh, you did already.
We had a lower rate.
Yeah.
And then, we wait for next lower rate coming up, the broker will be in and we'll make another move. Get it even cheaper.
I didn't know the original term or how long.
Oh, yeah, that's been refinanced, yeah. It's been refinanced.
Anybody else? Okay, meeting adjourned.